Streaming cyberspace into your place, sanctioned by the Red Light Racing League from Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. It's the Virtual Grip Network's third round coverage of the 13th edition of the Skitter Creek SK Modified Series. With 2 races in the books, one would assume that a driver who has earned 2 poles and led the most laps would be high in the season standings. Well, that's just what Jeff Aho has done, but thanks to questionable pit strategy and questionable luck, the defending champ finds himself buried in 13th. Tonight, Aho hopes to put down the shovel and start his climb up the points. Bradley Steffen won the season opener, and Brandon Feeney won round 2. When the bonus points were added in and the worst results dropped, Steffen and Feeney, well, they come into round 3 tied for the points lead. Can Steffen or Feeney win again? Can Aho return to his last season form? Or will a new name merit attention when the series leaves here and heads out for next round at Concord? For those answers, pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for some simulated short track racing action that's about to stream your way. A warm Nutmeg State hello and welcome on this Saturday night, January 23rd. It's a Thursday night soup, January 23rd, 2025. 16-time BRLSK Modified Champion, that's J.R. Shepard. Well, he joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, high up in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View. We play Brian Seneca doing what he does, turning the knobs and pushing the slider. All right, JR, this is a fun place to come to. How are the cars going to line up here and race?
Well, sir, Thompson, it's one of the toughest short tracks to race on, in my opinion. This place is 5/8 of a mile in length. Turns are banked around 26 degrees. But with this car, the biggest issue at this track tonight is going to be that narrow racing groove that will make passes here very difficult, especially, again, with these SK Modifieds. We've talked about in the first 2 races already. These cars do not have great visibility from the cockpit, especially on that right-hand side where the air cleaner is seen. The narrow groove and the low cockpit visibility, I'm afraid, are going to be the storylines here tonight and will more than likely lead to several cautions. If you're that bottom car trying to make a pass, the car tends to push up on corner exit, and it's very easy to misjudge where your right front tire is in relation to that car on your outside, sometimes leading to some contact, and maybe even a big one like we saw back in New Smyrna at the first race of the year. So I really, truly believe that track position is going to be key here tonight. These SK Modifieds, they are momentum type race cars. You've got to keep your speed up, and sometimes you push it just a little too hard.
And what makes passing even harder is everyone is racing the same setup that is provided by Team 53. We'll talk about the race details in a minute. Let's go ahead and talk about the points. You know, with Chad Alcaraz and Scott Negus making their season debuts at Langley, the number of drivers who have raced at least once this season grows to 27, with 24 having raced in both previous events. Now, keep in mind that the series rules package allows for 1 drop race, so in effect, the points shown right now reflect each driver's best performance out of the 2 tries. A Langley win rocketed Brandon Feeney up 13 spots to the points ladder. Up there he sits on top now, tied with Bradley Steffen, who won the season opener. A third plus bonus points to open the season has Kenny Allen just 5 back of the leaders, tied with Rod Higgins, who finished a spot ahead of Allen last time out. Third man in the log jam, well, that's with Allen and Higgins, is season 10 champ Eric Stout. Teapot leads all drivers in collected incident points, something he's not proud of. Brian Neff's best result was a 5th last time out. Double Deuce Bruce Pearson gets to drop his round 2 no-show, and he's back tonight. Adin Alvekian, well, and TJ Henson, they are safely on the overlay. And then there's 3 drivers that are tied for that 10th spot there. We're showing one of them, but I'm not going to mention his name because it wouldn't be fair to the other 2 that didn't make the graphic. With that said, let's take a look at the details. We'll draw those up. And JR, how does this work?
Well, Sleep, we're going to run 100 laps here tonight. The leader, like always, has lane choice both on the initial start and restarts. We have to wait until that green flag goes out before anybody takes off those, so that can be a little bit misleading sometimes on those restarts with the broadcast. But these drivers do have one extra set of tires here tonight, no fast repair. I talked about that one set of tires. I don't expect any of these drivers to use them. If you start anywhere near the front, track position will be key.
You know, all tracks wear tires a little differently. This one kind of easier than some?
It can be. It depends on how hard you push that car. It is a track where you can save the tires, but if somebody behind you is pushing you pretty hard, it's very tempting to go ahead and use them. So there will be some strategy with that involved here tonight.
This round 3 grid call is brought to you by racedayct.com, the most comprehensive site for short track racing news in New England. Well, if I was in New England, that's something I would definitely check out. All right, let's go ahead and give you our total field here today. We got a nice full field of 24 drivers. Okay, now qualifying is based on gridding is based on qualifying, and it was Chad Alcaraz who was fastest. He put in a 19.242, tied dead even with Rex Hoyle, who'd be sitting right outside of him.
Yeah, very tight field here. Last season's champion Jeff Aho, he'll roll off in 3rd. Alongside him in 4th will be A.J. Hamill.
Eric, I'm a little teapot, short and stout, will be starting in 5th. Love that nickname, teapot. Outside of him, Rog Higgins.
Rolling off in 7th place tonight, we got Scott Negus driving that 55 car. Alongside him in 8th place will be Luke Logan Allen.
Old-time Donnie Moore in 9th. He's going to be flanked by Brian Bianchi.
11th place, Brandon Feeney rolling off tonight. Alongside him in 12th place will be Alan Wanamaker.
In the Baker's dozen spot, it's Brian Neff and season opener winner Bradley Steffen.
Rolling off in 15th place, got TJ Henson tonight, and alongside him in 16th place, Ken Allen.
A little farther down than we would expect is Aldin Elvecchion. He's down there in 17th, inside of Bob Higgins.
Yeah, rolling off in car number 52 tonight in 19th place will be Chris Oliver. Alongside him in the 83 will be Andrew Massey.
There we go. Hidden Blackjack, Fred Leclerc. The boss man, Lowell Jewell in the double duck spot.
Rolling off 23rd, got Chris Hazlip alongside him, and 24th, Bruce Pearson making his return again.
Bruce Pearson did not get into qualifying time. 23 drivers did, so Bruce got a ways to go. And from what JR was talking about in the pre-race show, oh, that's a lot of drivers to get through. All right, we turn our attention now on track. That is Chad Alcaraz up there in the number 17. Dead even in qualifying times with Rex Hoyle. Glad you are with us. This race and 13 more after. You know what to do. Gather up the chickens, take cover around the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And my goodness, leading the stampede from the outside line is Chad Alcaraz. Man, he is flying out there. JR, he chose the outside line to start.
Absolutely, that's what I would have done also. It's just the place you want to be. It's very difficult for that car on the inside of turns 1 and 2 to make any ground, and you saw it. 1st and 4th place were able to prevail there.
Indeed. The driver who started on the inside of the front row was Rex Hoyle, and he's now laboring back there in what would be 4th position. And we didn't get far. We got a yellow. It involves the number 60 of Brian Neff, a self-spin, and then, oh my goodness, he got collected by the 52 of Chris Oliver, who gets, well, he's a bank catfish. Let's go ahead and take a look at this first from up top, and then maybe from, if you had your Dramamine, maybe from Oliver's cockpit. There's Neff going around, and he's just parked there, and boom.
Yeah, and Bruce Pearson got a good piece of that one. You talked about him starting in the back. That's always the challenge with it. And, you know, we didn't talk about these setups a whole lot. The setups are pretty neutral here tonight, but there is a bump down there where we saw Neff lose it in the middle of 1 and 2. And if you are on the throttle at the wrong time when you go over that bump, that's exactly what can happen.
Bruce Pearson last on the scene. Oh, my goodness. Not going to be able to bury Brian Neff at a Jewish cemetery because he got tattooed. With that, let's go ahead and see who we can talk to. Now, it's a little more difficult here than most races since we have only a few to choose from. Let's see. Is Alcaraz on there? I'm not sure. We'll take a look and see if we can get to these guys. Let's if we have time, let's try the guy at the top of the list, Aldin Elvecchion. Let's try him. See if we can dial him up. Aldin, it's Soup up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, I do.
First of all, let's practice your name. I got Aldin Elvecchion. How'd I do?
Pretty far off, unfortunately. It's Aiden Alvecchion.
Aiden Olivekian. Okay, I'm going to work on it, man. I have a swear jar right here. Every time I mispronounce it, the VGN bosses gets a little richer. How's the car feel tonight? You didn't get a really great qualifying time.
It's very loose. It's very sketchy. I kind of suck at this track anyway, so I'm right around where I was expecting to be.
Jer?
Yeah, Hayden, I just want to ask you a question. This is a tough track on restarts, inside, outside. How do you anticipate these restarts are going to be? Outside looks very good through turns 1 and 2.
I'm thinking the outside's the place to be. I started the race on the inside, and I did not like it down there, so I'm hoping I'll have better chances up here this time around.
All right, thanks. Good luck. They're doubling up. Good luck to you. Pace car moving into corner number 3. All right, up on the front row this time. Alcaraz is going to stay on the outside like he did last time. This time he has A.J. Hamill to his inside. 17 on the outside, 18 on the inside. Oh, Hamill does a much better job of getting rolling than did Hoyle.
Yeah, and he's doing a nice job through 1 and 2 there. You saw that hole open up between the 2 cars on the outside, so he's going to be able to squeeze in there. So that is a perfect restart for anybody starting on the front row on that inside line.
Now back a little farther, that's Hoyle, who's now on the outside. Remember, he was pinned to the inside of row 1 on the restart. Boy, he's got going around. Is it going to go around? It does. Car number 40 right there. And Luke Logan Allen. Oh, Lemon Lime gets into him as Bob Higgins loops it.
Yeah, and we talked about it early in the pre-race. I'm really worried that this is going to be a common theme here tonight. It's just so tough to keep that car pulled down on the inside when someone's on your outside. We're watching the 40 here go into the corner, and that's all it is. He's just trying to make sure he's not going to make contact with that outside car, and around the car goes. It's just very, 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 very sensitive place in the corner.
My goodness. Well, that's our second caution. Now let's go ahead. Let's talk to the defending champ, Jeff Aho, who is a little farther down right now, racing in 4th position. Jeff, it's Soup up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's first of all talk about the way your season has been going so far. 2 poles, led the most laps, and you buried in 13th. Can you change your luck?
I'm pretty good coming out of the gate, but not much for finishing. So I'm hoping tonight I can do a little bit better. I had a terrible qualifying. I hit the wall. You need to stay in the even numbers. The bottom lane, you just can't do anything at this place.
Yeah, Jeff, I said the exact same thing a little bit earlier. I want to ask you, man, I think I know the answer, but as far as tires here tonight, any plans on stopping?
Well, at the rate we're going, we've got a caution every 5 laps, so they should be pretty cool all day.
Yeah, I was going to say that helps.
I think I'm just going to take my chances and leave them on.
Yeah, go ahead and use them for next round 2 at Concord. All right, good luck to you, man.
Thanks, guys.
JR, I want to talk a little bit. I know that on the outside it's the place to be. If we ever get to see some green flag racing, is the preferred line on the outside? Is that the line you want to protect, or do you still need to protect the inside, somebody getting under you?
No, I think you definitely want to keep somebody from getting to your outside. The outside line's going to be preferred. However, if we get some good racing in here, that driver that's in front of you could be pushing just a little bit too hard, wearing that right front tire out. And if they do so, and you can make your car roll on the bottom because you've been taking care of your tires, you can make a pass. But we're going to have to get some laps in before we get to that point.
I want to drill down just a bit farther. Will the top side get dirty, or does it clear off up there? Is that something, even though it's the preferred line, does it get slower?
This place does get very treacherous as the rubber comes off the tires, it marbles up. So if you get outside of that groove where we see Alcaraz running right now, if you get just slightly higher than that, the car loses all traction and just goes right to the wall.
All right, something to watch for. Okay, the same 2 that restarted last time side by side, they do it again. Now the 18 did a real good job. That's A.J. Hamill. He's up there doing a nice job trying to hold on, but there's just no momentum off of 2.
Yeah, it's not going to work out for him this time. It looks like Jeff Aho, he's going to be able to take that spot, and he's going to get that second place. That's one of the even positions he talked about, but unfortunately he's going to be starting on the inside if a caution comes out.
Well, the restart, he started in 4th. That's an even position. Then he goes around the car, and now he's racing in 2nd. They start to go single file, and we got another one.
We got Luke Logan Allen going around. I didn't catch what caused this. We'll have to get a replay to see what happened.
I think he goes around. I think he goes around on his own, and then. Oh, the 54 may have got him.
Yeah, Rex Hoyle, he just gets a little bit loose, like similar accidents we've seen already in this race, and he tried to chase it up the hill. Did a nice job saving his car, but unfortunately just too close to the one on the outside of him there and just sent him around.
The reason I thought it was clean because I thought the car behind him, the 14 of Bianchi, might have got into him, and he did not. But it was the inside when they drifted up, and my goodness, my partner talked about that, how the cars will move on up there. All right, well, I think that's the last of our caution flags here. I think we're going to be in good shape from now on. Let's take a quick look and see who's been our big mover. And it is the last interview. You know, we talked about it. Aiden All Vecchion in the car number 271. Up 9 spots.
Yeah, and he's in that 8th position, so he's going to be starting on the outside, and we talked about it. That should help him move up even further once we go back to green. Another driver that has done really well, the boss man Lowell Jewell. If we have a chance, we'll talk to Lowell on our next caution. That is not going to come. We are working lap number 17. Talk a little bit about All Vecchion. Not a big fan of the triple-digit car, 271. I'm telling you, that puts an extra, that slows you down at least 0.2 a lap. Yeah, it's kind of like the opposite of flames on a race car.
That's right. Long pace lap this time. We started with 24 drivers. 20 remain on the lead lap. The last one being Brian Neff. Now, Neff was involved in an early incident. No fast repairs, so it's hard to say how quick he can be.
Yeah, no fast repairs, but that makes it even more important that if you have a car that will at least finish the race, because we already see there's a number of cars a lap down, go out here and finish the race. I know they have a drop week, but every point can really matter as we get closer to the end of the season.
Indeed. It's a long season. It's unusual if you only want to have one drop race. Usually when you look at your points as we're going here, look at this! The inside line! Oh! He is Jeff Oh. He is a defending champ for a reason. He makes it work.
And we got another caution, so he made that pass at the perfect time.
All right, well, a man who's seen a lot of action in front of him is Brian Bianchi, and this one, he is the cause of it. Again, he's on the inside line, JR. That's it.
Yeah, and it's just that bump through the middle of 1 and 2. Like I said, these cars, these setups, they're pretty neutral, but if you hit that bump incorrectly when somebody's on your outside, you have to turn that wheel down just a little bit further, and these cars will just step right around on you like we saw with Bianchi here. Yeah, and that's more prevalent also, Sue, when you're on colder tires, so.
Well, let's talk to Lemon Lime here, Luke Allen, who's really had a tough time of it. How you feeling? You got a copy? And we do not. I thought we did. Oh, he's muted. That's too bad. Luke Logan Allen started in 8th, racing back in 16th. Not able to talk to us now. If you're a new driver and you're just watching these broadcasts, we recommend you to be ready for some of these interviews. We'd love to talk to you during the Yellow Flags. Next week, I will be coming prepared with caution material. We'll be having some trivia questions. JR will demonstrate his ability to tie a cherry stem in a knot with his tongue. Very impressive.
Let's hope not.
Okay, we are working lap number 22. We'll be going lap number 23 in a second. You know what? Let's go ahead and try one more interview. I think, are they done? Let's see if they're doubling up. Yeah, they're doubling up. We won't do it. As promised, we're going to try to talk to the boss man, Lowell Jewell, next time out. He's having a nice run. You want to get to the boss man before things go south. So, JR, this is interesting now. So Aho was able to make it work from the inside line on the restart, but now he's chosen the outside line.
Yeah, and ultimately I think that outside line's where you want to be. The big difference here is that these guys cannot go when they want to go. We don't go on the leader, we go when the green flag comes out, so you've really got to be paying attention.
So we wait, lagging back a little bit as Alcaraz. Nice restart. Everybody's in the mix now. Watch the 55 of Scott Negus. He's notoriously fast, and he's on the preferred line. He's going to roll that number 55 around the top, trying to squeeze him up of Alcaraz. Boy, Negus trying to squeeze him down. They are very close. It looks like the 17 is going to get the best of it, and he finishes the deal. Woo!
That was a big move by Alcaraz there. He really had the rear end hung out, but he's able to make that pass, which is very important.
So AJ Hamill started in fourth, racing in fourth right now, trying to hold up the number 12 former champion, the Teapot, Eric Stout.
We're seeing these drivers, they're starting to get single file. If they can do that for just a little while, we might just get some green flag racing in here, which will be exciting. We see Bruce Pearson, he's starting very back. He's making a move there out of turn 2.
That is the 22 of Bruce Pearson racing Richard Petty. Oh, no, sorry, that's the 43. That's Bob Higgins.
It's a nice looking throwback, though.
It does look good. And then the 14 of Bianchi, who's had some incidents in Fergal racing behind him. They get that sorted out. And look at that. I don't know if we have a real race going on anywhere now. A little bit of a battle going here. Double side. Working the inside. That's the 14 of Bianchi trying to make it work. On side of Higgins. And now we're getting in a little momentum. We got it going.
Yeah, and I like what we just saw there from Bianchi through turns 1 and 2. He kind of backs off a little bit early and does an over-under type move, and he's really working the bottom of the track more than I've seen any other driver. We'll watch him one more time and see if he does it, but I like that move where he's really trying to exit the corner low. He's going to stay high this time.
He had it way down on the apron when we were watching him. Well, they are all lined up now. Let's go ahead and look at Lowell Jewell. He's under attack from TJ Henson. Henson kind of peeking at him. Henson tried it low. Now he's trying it high.
Yeah, and that's important to kind of point out to the viewers. Maybe not all the viewers are familiar with how these cars race or just short tracks in general, but it a lot of times looks like these drivers are just riding around, but they are not. They are searching around. They're seeing where their opponent has a weakness, just like we're seeing there with Scott Negus on screen, trying to get that second place. He is searching around, trying to figure out where his car is better and where he can make a move on Alcaraz.
Well, I give Negus credit. He got in there, maybe got side by side with the 17, but then there's just no drive off. You can see him. He gets there, and then the outside rolls.
Yeah, and that's what I've always seen at this track, is that when you're similar in speed to someone else, making that pass on the inside is difficult. The good play, or the big play that you can try to do here, is run several laps, just taking care of your stuff, and hope that that driver ahead of you starts to wear out his right front tire.
Third of the way through. We had a bit of a slow start there. Now we're into a rhythm. 20 cars on the lead lap. The last one being Albekian. We talked to Aiden a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and I like that we're getting some green flag laps in here, because we're going to see a change. It won't happen immediately. Maybe several laps later, we see a car down on the infield. That would be Feeney in the 38 car. He's going to rejoin, so no caution on this one.
Feeney, your round 2 winner, trying to go back-to-back. Not going to happen today. He was racing near the front. That allows everyone to pick up a spot. Let's just put the camera on the number 2 of Lowell Jewell. Yes, he pays the bills. He pays for my pizza money, and JR's well, JR doesn't eat pizza. He's a sushi guy. But Lowell Jewell started in 22nd. That's the inside of the next to last row, racing in 8th.
Yeah, and I don't know the long history of a lot of these drivers, but what I do know about Lowell is, besides Donnie Moore, he's probably one of the most experienced drivers at Thompson when it comes to the SK Modified. So obviously showing his skill set here tonight, coming from 22nd, already up into 8th place.
This is the 10th time that the Red Light Racing League, we got another caution. Looking at it, is it... Let's see if we bring this up. Looking for it. There's self-spin. Enough to bring out the caution. All right, let's go see if we can talk to the boss man, Lowell Jewel. I'll let the director see if he can dial him up. Boss man, it's Soup up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
I'm doing the math here. 22nd position up to 8th. Nicely done. Is it all about being on the outside?
Yeah. I've passed about half of them on the track. The other half went by sideways.
Hey, Lowell, it's JR up here in the booth. Just wanted to see how you're feeling about how this race is going so far. Had a lot of cautions early, got a small run there. You anticipate more cautions coming, kind of being conservative, or hoping to get a longer run here?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a longer run, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. This is a tough track.
Well, with all the caution flags, baby, you can go out there, burn up those tires. Let's see what you got.
That's right, yeah. No tire changes tonight, buddy.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Little Jewel. Every day you'll find him in a 18-wheeler. 16-wheeler, 14-wheeler, a lot of wheels on where he's driving. Then in the nighttime, just 4. He'll be on the outside. See if he can make up a few more spots out there. All right, JR, drill down a little bit on these restarts. So this is a little different from what I'm used to seeing in the Bootleg Racing League that I've covered so many times, where I guess you go when the leader goes. Here we're waiting for the flag. Is that it?
Yeah, exactly right. A lot of leagues do it differently. Some of them will usually allow the leader to be the one that decides when you go green, usually off of turn 4. But here in this league at Red Light Racing, we have to wait until the green flag comes out. So really, that comes down to just timing and being very good at just watching your screen, because the green flag is going to pop up on your screen. You have to have a good reaction. If you get it better than that driver beside of you on the front row, it doesn't matter which lane you're in, you're going to have the advantage.
I'm going to drill down a bit on that a bit later here once we get this restart underway. Okay, the outside line now. Aho's going to get the jump, and look at this. The 17 of Alcaraz is there, but once again, oh, he almost gets loose in front of Negus. Negus backs off a little bit. I thought the 17 was coming around. My goodness, the inside line is treacherous.
It's very treacherous, especially on cold tires, and that's something these drivers are going to have to watch for about a lap or two here until those pressures start to come up. Then that car is going to feel a little bit more stable to be able to move around a little bit more like they want to.
Negus and Stefan stuck on the inside, making the outside line work. Well, that's the number 12 of Eric Stout. Stout with a good drive off of 4, going right into the back of Hamill.
Yeah, and that's not a bad play. Usually you want to push that driver. If he slides up in front of you, go ahead and push him, because it does not make sense to make the move to the inside. Eric knows that. That's why he did what we saw there.
Well, they get single file. It's all about the restart. We talked about Lowell Jewell. He was in 8th place on the outside line. He did not get going. He's down in 10th now, so he lost a couple positions. Still your big mover, though. But right behind him is a guy to watch out for. He started in 21st, racing in 11th, Fred Leclerc. Leclerc under attack from the inside. You know, I keep thinking that the inside line is the preferred line. Your lead commentator's getting excited, but when Bianchi put it down there, I forgot he has really nowhere to go when he gets down there.
Yeah, and it's hard even for the drivers to remember that sometimes, Soup. So Bianchi was being very smart there. He's being conscious of what's going on, but you get a run, you want to go to the inside of that driver and make that move, but you're kind of like playing chess here. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. You've got to hold that move for later on.
All right, the guy I want to watch is in the 62. This is TJ Henson. He has been really aggressive. JR, he has been going wide on corner exit, dropping down, doing some really interesting lines. He's lost a ton of spots trying to get around Hoyle, but he was doing some fascinating things. I guess when you're trying to get around, you just try to be creative.
Yeah, try lines that the other drivers aren't doing. I've always said if you're following that driver in front of you, that's probably all you're going to do for the rest of the race. So try some different lines, see what works and what doesn't work. And we saw with TJ Henson there, he had room behind him. That's the most important thing. If you've got nobody putting pressure behind you, you can try some unique moves and find out for sure if something's going to work or not.
Leclerc in the 71 on the inside of Lemon Line Allen. Luke doing a good job. Luke Logan Allen in the number 6 machine. We wanted to talk to him. He started in 8th. He's racing in 12th. He's a youngster.
Yeah, and so we saw him have some issues earlier, so he's actually coming back through the field some here. So now he's back into that 12th spot and closing in on Bianchi.
Let's go ahead and put the camera on the 81. 15 laps down in 21st position. It's Ken Allen. That's Dad. All right, Jeff Aho needs a little bit of love. He has 2 poles. Did not have a pole tonight. JR, you heard about it in the interview. He put it in the wall in qualifying.
It's easy to do here. We talked about these cars are momentum type race cars. They have large, wide tires that feel like they have a ton of grip, only about 400 horsepower, so it's very easy to give yourself some confidence and say, I can really drive it off in there, and sometimes it just does not stick. So easy to make mistakes, especially at a place like this, but Aho, being the driver that he is, he's been able to overcome that issue, and he's putting down some nice laps right now and maintaining a nice gap back to second place.
Okay, before we actually went to green on the restart, we talked about how the flag and wanted to time the flag. Does the green fly at the exact same place every time, or does iRacing change it up a bit?
I've always found that it's slightly different, especially on short tracks. I've had it catch me off guard in leagues where I controlled the restart and the green came out before I went. So it can move around slightly.
Negus, no, yes it is. The 55 of Negus spins off to the inside and it's going to bring up the yellow. I thought he spun so far off. I didn't think the yellow would come out.
And he's going to have some bad right front wheel damage on this one. So his night's probably going to be done soon.
Look at it right there. Let's see where that right wheel, where the damage came in. Did it happen after the spin? Or did it come on the exit where he hit the wall, or was it the inside wall?
Yeah, he hits the wall again here, but I believe that just made it worse.
Oh.
But I believe his right front was already damaged from the inside contact on the wall here, and it's just, yeah, he was just at the right angle, had the wheel turned outward, and it just broke the suspension there.
Got it. Well, he broke one side, might as well break the other side too. Keep the car going straight. All right. Well, we were going to talk to Negus, but that's going to end his night. We pick up another one. We've gone more than halfway. Let's go ahead and bring up Andrew Critical Massey. See how his race is going here. Andrew, it's Soup Up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I do indeed.
How's it feeling out there? A lot of yellow flags. Hard to get a rhythm?
It's just a matter of survival, kind of wait until the end at this point.
Hey, Andrew, JR up in the booth. Man, you started back in 20th. Now you talk about survival. You've got yourself up into 12th place. Are you at least a little bit excited that you're going to be restarting that outside lane, or is it kind of getting bottled up when you're about mid-pack there?
It seems to get off okay. So far, so good anyway.
Have you done most of the passing? Have you done any of the passing on track, or has it all been from attrition?
It's all been for attrition. I suck here, so I'm just hanging on.
All right, good luck, man. Andrew having a nice run, 20th to 12th. You know, JR, I'm horrible, but if I could just go out there, keep my nose clean, and just turn some laps, keep myself top 10 here the way things are going. 18 drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, races like this, it's just like I tell people when it comes to running road courses. If you can just keep the car on track and clean, you can come away with a pretty good finish.
All right, here we are again. We've talked a lot about the start. A little bit of bumping going on there, a little bit of help from the number 17 of Alcaraz. Want to get Aho going. Make that top side roll. Drifting way up! It's the 17 Alcaraz. That was Scout that was given the push, and
We got several cars around. Almost had a big one like we had in New Smyrna. Still going to collect a lot of vehicles here, and I didn't catch the whole thing. Looks like a car got into that. Oh, yeah, actually had a car go airborne. Contact coming out of the corner to the 54 sent him into the wall, and yeah, just a lot of checking up behind and some not checking up.
those guys were racing very much near the front. Some of your big movers, Lowell Jewell caught up in that one. He was having a good run.
Yeah, and the contact we saw off the corner there, you know, it's a little bit deceiving, but cold tires, that car on the inside, it wants to push up. The car on the outside wants to get a little bit free because you're trying to get that throttle down and carry momentum, and the two cars just really came together there, and obviously the 54 getting the worst of it, getting sent up into the wall.
We talked to Andrew Massey. He was kind of involved in it, but they were bumping into his left side. Cars were spinning in front of him. We don't usually talk to the same driver twice, but let's bring back in the 83 of Massey. Get a little follow-up on that. Andrew, we usually don't talk to drivers twice, but you were right in that thing, and they were kept banging off your left sides and spinning in front of you. How's the car feel?
Doesn't feel like I've got any damage. I did have my spotter telling me I have a little bit of left side damage, but it feels okay.
Yeah, Andrew, I think you're looking all right from our perspective. That restart you were on the outside.
Yeah.
With that accident, it probably wasn't the best place. This one, you're going to be on the inside. How do you think it's going to work out?
Well, I think we just jinxed ourselves saying that the top wasn't really getting bottled up. It really bottled up there quick. But hopefully I can keep some grip on the inside and shove into the outside and not get freight trained too hard.
All right, man. Good job. We won't pester you anymore this race. Thanks, man.
Well, hopefully you're pestering me at the end.
That's right. There you go. Andrew Massey in 7th spot. JR, the good news is he was in 8th. He's up to 7th. The bad news is, well, he's in 7th.
Yeah, inside's not typically where you want to be, but it always depends on the restart. We just saw on that last one, the accident started in that outside lane, so inside would have actually been a little bit better. It's just hard to tell. This is a tough place to get around.
Well, the saying is the cream rises to the top. We started with 24 drivers. Only 2 of them were former champions. And guess what? They're side by side right now. Jeff Aho, Eric Stout. Season 22 champ on the outside, season 20 champ on the inside. Let me correct myself. Season 12 champ on the outside, season 10 champ on the inside. And the inside line is going to prevail. Close the door on Aho.
Yeah, and that's what you get when you get that champion rating being on the front row together. They both took the green pretty evenly, but that gave the advantage to Eric there. I think Aho thought that he was going to be able to cross Eric over. It just did not work out.
So once again, leading so many laps, but now 2/3 of the way through, Aho has some work to do in front of him. Eric Stout, your leader, started in 9th place. Let me correct myself. Started in 5th, has been racing up front the whole time. We'd like to go through the field a little bit, but right now we're going to keep the attention up front. Aho does not like to follow.
No, he is going to try to get that lead back. At the end of the day, he knows how to restart on that inside line on the front row, but ultimately you want to be that car that is the leader so you can take the preferred outside lane. So I expect him to push Eric pretty hard here, and even if he can't make that pass, just pushing Eric could help him later on in the race.
All right, now you're JR Shepard, so you're a different type of animal. But right now, let's go ahead and say you are in 2nd at this track with 30 laps to go. Are you hoping for a yellow, or would you rather try to see if you can get it done on the track?
I always like to try to get it done on the track for sure. If we have a long run here, I want it to stay green because I feel like I can have an advantage with what I'm doing to the car compared to that guy ahead of me, especially if I'm pushing him like I see Jeff doing right now. But if you're in one of those things where you're not getting a lot of green flag racing, I'm all for having a caution, have another chance on that restart.
Of course, everyone knows that his parents named him JR, but it stands for junk rubber. Mom and Dad knew that JR was going to be good on old tires, and that's what Jeff Aho would like to be right now. Get a long green flag lug and maybe make the pass on Stout near the end.
Yeah, and it's a good shot we've got here from our director Ryan Seneger riding on board with Jeff Aho. You can kind of see the line and the difference of line that he is running compared to Eric Stout. So you see him, he's looking to the inside. That's something I like to do, help get some air on that left front on corner entry, and then he's allowing the car to drift up just a little bit on corner exit, but he doesn't appear to be over driving or pushing that car. We see Eric's rear end want to step out just a little bit through 1 and 2 there, so Jeff's really pushing him.
Both Jeff and Eric were squirrely a little bit there. What we like to call the popcorn position is Chad Alcaraz. He's watching the show. And there's a guy let's go ahead and watch a little bit more of Bianchi in car number 14. Give him credit. I don't know if I've actually seen him make a pass on track, but I've seen him dive to the inside of drivers more than anybody else. Right now he's working on the back of AJ Hamill.
Yeah, and as long as Bianchi doesn't have anybody real close to him, I would continue to do those things that we've seen him do. Run different lines, try to make those moves happen on the inside, because sometimes just trying to make that move happen can cause the driver on the outside to make a mistake.
All right, I believe, we got a big pileup. It involves Luke Allen. It happened in front of him, though. Let's see if we can find where this thing starts. Maybe the 62 of TJ Henson. Oh, Henson gets Roos right in front of race 1 winner Bradley Steffen. Rolling over goes Luke Allen.
Yeah, and you know, we're far enough into the race, we haven't talked about it a whole lot, but that fuel load, burning off that fuel load, that transfers weight more to the front of the vehicle, essentially makes the rear of the vehicle lighter, but more weight is now on the front of that vehicle percentage-wise, and what that does is makes that car push just a little bit on corner entry, and the more that car starts to push, the more you want to put wheel into it. You put more wheel into it, and eventually those front tires are going to bite, and you get that situation we just saw there with Henson where the rear end steps out. So there's several ways to make that rear end step out, and that's definitely one of them.
Well, I don't want to mention this because I don't want to use them, but the rules package does have 3 green-white checkers. Pair of champions up front, Stout and Aho. JR, go in the helmet of Stout. Inside line, outside line.
Yeah.
The inside line worked for him last time, so is that something you learned from, or what?
Yeah, I just don't know how you can give up that outside line. Ultimately, I think that's where you want to be, but again, because we go on green, it really comes down to that reaction time when that green flag flies. So either lane can be the one to be in. You just have to be good on your reaction time there. But for me, I'm always going to try to take that outside line. I feel like it's where you can carry the most momentum off of turn 2.
Teapot clearly listening to the broadcast as he does just what J.R. Shepard talked about. JR, can you play some tricks? Can you lag back a bit and try to get some momentum, trying to time the green flag?
I think naturally as a driver, you're always going to want to try to do that. I've looked at the rule book. I don't really see what the rules are in that situation, so I don't know how close you can cut it, but definitely you're going to try it.
Well, they are side by side right now. This is going to be a drag race. Here we go. Stout with a good jump. Does he close the door in front of Aho? We've seen Aho make the inside line work on a restart before. We've seen Stout do it. They are Cialis bathtubs out of 2. Aho still has the inside through 3 and 4. Now let's see if the momentum works to the top side. There's old Mo. Oh, but Stout puts it in the wall. Stout grazed the wall coming out of 4.
He did. He's going to be able to come away with it, and Jeff Ahu's trying to move up into second place. He's in a good spot going into turn 3 here. He had the advantage. If he can just slide up a little bit, he would have it, but it looks like A.J. Hamill, I believe, is going to pass him on the outside.
Oh my goodness, one more time. It's not Jeff Aho, it's Jeff Uh-oh. He's fallen back to 3rd position and one more time has led the most laps, and he's not going to get the win if things stay the way they are. But we're not over yet. We still have 17 laps of racing to go.
No car around. Bianchi's going around off of turn 4.
And finally, the caution flags flies for Bianchi.
Yeah, and I saw him in the pits already towed back, so it looked like he had wheel damage on the right front, unfortunately. So it's probably going to end his night, but we'll get a look at it.
Well, he was trying to get underneath Alcaraz. He got there, actually. And as I take another look at this, yeah, he got loose in front of Alcaraz. Alcaraz then gave him a little help going around, but okay. Well, we're not done yet. We are inching our way closer to the checkered flag. You want to tune back next week for Soup's bag of caution flag material. We'll have live cameras. I'll be doing some juggling. And if you're lucky, I'll get out the ventriloquist doll and do a little of that for you. You don't want to miss next week. We're going to Concord. What can you tell us about Concord, JR?
Oh man, Concord is another tough track. We started off this season after New Smyrna with 3 straight tough tracks, but it's more of a tri-oval, definitely a short track, and it's one of those places where I like to kind of arc the car going into the corner, but a lot of drivers like to dive into the corner, and usually you see 2 cars come together on corner entry, so it is a place where incidences and accidents are going to happen for sure. So I would like to say that we're going to have a green flag race next week, but I'm not confident at this point.
Well, I can guarantee you we will be having one green flag race because I looked at the schedule. We're going to Watkins Glen, baby, and they go both directions there at Watkins Glen. And I don't think the rules package has yellow flags unless we really have a big one. So you don't want to miss that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about that one. Being able to take a car that's predominantly an oval car, taking it out on the road course, which is something that I've been excited about the last several years. So that's going to be a good show, I think, and you're going to see the talent of these drivers not only being able to run the short tracks, but also some of these guys are going to be extremely good turning left and right.
We'll talk a little bit about that more as the season progresses, so that race gets near. All right, 11 laps to go. This time Eric Stout has A.J. Hamill. We'll see if A.J. can live up to his initials. They are side by side. Good start from both cars, inside and outside. A little bit of a bump there from Aho trying to get Hamill going. Hamill is slowing down, and that's going to bleed positions for Aho. He's stuck in the middle. The top side is rolling. Aho pinned to the inside. Morgar going. Here's the big mover we talked about earlier. The number 83, Andrew Critical Massey, having a great run. Move him up into 3rd.
Had a big run there on that start. So yeah, started 20th up to 3rd. Right now, that is not a great spot to be. If a caution comes out, he's going to hope that we make it the rest of the way because that would be a big finish.
I don't think these cars can overheat, but right now I see smoke coming from the 21. I think it's coming from between the ears of Jeff Aho. My goodness, things have really gone south for him. He's racing in 6th. The good news is for the defending champ, he's on an even position, so if a yellow were to come, he'd be in that preferred line. Front 3 separating themselves nicely.
Yeah, and going back to where Jeff lost so many positions there, I can understand that frustration. I've been in races here where you're stuck on the inside. The big thing is you don't make a mistake, and as I say that, Jeff almost goes around in the corner, getting in the back of the 54 ahead of him. So a nice save, but almost a mistake there.
Okay, let's go ahead and put the camera on car number 93. We have not talked much about the Lipper. Chris Hazlip started in 23rd inside of the last row, racing in 7th. Well done.
Yeah, and what I can say about Chris is he's somebody that is constantly asking questions, wants to learn how to get better, and he pays attention in these races, and he will normally show up toward the end of the race and have it figured out. So he is a very good SK modified driver. He's learned throughout this race, but the most important thing is that he's kept it clean.
How important is qualifying? Well, not that important if you talk to car number 22, Bruce Pearson. He started dead last, didn't even put in a qualifying time. He's found himself a top 10 position. Right behind him, a side-by-side battle. That's the 43 of Higgins. Higgins gets bumped by the 38 of Feeney. He keeps it going. I thought Higgins was going around for sure.
Yeah, that showed a lot of car control because that was not easy to keep that car from going around, and we're watching on the screen some jockeying for positions here. It just looks like the 54, he's under attack, but he's also kind of being held up by the cars in front of him at the moment. I know the 83's leading that pack. Andrew Massey just holding these guys up just a little bit.
Look at all that racing going on behind Eric Stout, who's just saying, keep it in, keep it going straight, boys. I just want to bring this thing home. But why we say that, let's look at the leader for a minute. Let's go up here. I'm going to cut you up here because here comes Alcaraz. Don't know if the 17 will have anything for Stout. My dad always told me passing the leader is like milking a rooster. The hard part starts after you catch him. Well, Alcaraz has caught the rooster. I don't know if he's going to be able to get any milk out of it.
No, he was the big beneficiary on that last restart. He rolled off in 4th on that outside line, came out in 2nd place. And I know we're coming into our last lap here, but if Chad can just get somewhat close, he could make a move here, but he's just a little bit too far away.
White flag. There are 2 battles to look at. Stat holding back Alcaraz, and Andrew Massey, who's holding back the entire field for 3rd. Stout out of corner number 2. He's got it all his own way. Only 2 more corners to negotiate. The 17 of Alcaraz giving it all. He's got too little, too late. He goes to the inside. He's going to make it interesting. Give the win to former champion Stout. Let's go back to 3rd. And Massey is going to hang on. What a great run. 20th to 3rd for Critical Massey. Well done, Andrew. Woo! Sweet sassy Molassy. Once they started to race, we had ourselves a show.
Yeah, absolutely great job by these guys at the end of the race. Could have been very easy with the pressure to just go a little bit too hard and create more of those cautions, but these guys brought it on.
3 races, 3 different winners. The racing is over. Our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and run down the entire finishing order. Talk to Stout, Alcaraz, and Massey, and then put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. That's right, it's a speedway and a motorsports park all in one. This is VGN's third round coverage of the 13th edition of the Red Light Racing Skitter Creek SK Modified Series. You may want to think about renaming that. Might be Yellow Light Racing, might be better after what we saw today. Don't criticize the product, Soup. You know better than that. It was a messy one. You were all here, but it was fun racing when they did get going. Let's give you the top 10 right now. I'll turn to my partner for the rest of the field. Eric Stout, Season 10 champion, shows his championship form. Race started in 5th, raced around the front the whole time. When the opportunity presented himself, he took the win. Chad Alcaraz started on pole, raced up front again like Stout, and will come home in 2nd. Andrew Critical Massey started not near the front. How about 20th? Finishing 3rd. Great drop from Andrew. AJ Hamill, 4th to 4th. Rex Hoyle started on the outside of row 1. He'll come home in 5th. Then we get to Jeff Aho. Well, he didn't fall as far as we thought, as he's going to get 5th position. Hamill gets 4th. Let me correct myself now. Chris Hayslip, a great run, 23rd to 7th. Well done for the Lipper. Brian Neff, did not see much of him. Got in trouble early. He'll come home in 8th. Double Deuce Bruce Pearson, dead last to 9th. Well done, Double Deuce. Brandon Feeney, your race 2 winner, is the last car inside the top 10. Go ahead, JR.
Yeah, coming home in 11th place tonight, we had Bob Higgins in that 43 car. Finishing 12th, Bradley Steffen. He's had a good start to the season. His worst finish, I believe, of the year so far in 12th there. 13th place, Aiden Alvecchion. He comes home there. 14th place would be TJ Henson. We saw him have some spins tonight. But ultimately, one of the most creative drivers as far as racing lines. So cool to watch. 15th place, we had Ken Allen. Coming home in 16th place, Fred Leclerc. He'll be 17 laps down in this one. Brian Bianchi, he comes home in 17th place. He was another driver really creative with his racing line tonight, so that was awesome. Rob Higgins, 40 car, he comes home in 18th place. Coming home in 19th, Luke Logan Allen. 20th place, Bossman Low Jewel. He comes home there 39 laps down, unfortunately getting caught up in some accidents tonight. Also, Donnie Moore getting caught up in some stuff. He comes home in 21st place. Scott Negus, we saw him with a spin down the backstretch, coming home in 22nd place. Chris Oliver, he'll be Chris Oliver in the 52 car will come home in 23rd place. And rounding out the field tonight, I believe it will be Alan Wanamaker in 24th.
Started with 24, 11 were able to finish on the lead lap. Okay, let's see if we can go ahead and run down former champion, Season 10 champion, Eric Stout. Teapot, nice run, baby.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. It's been a really wild 48 hours. I have to give the majority of the credit here to my brother Patrick. He was on the pit box tonight, but he bailed me out. He drove from Blacksburg, Virginia to Charlotte, North Carolina to pick me up at the airport where my connecting flight had been canceled and I was stranded. So I was able to get plugged in yesterday and use his rig tonight. I would have been happy, frankly, with a top 10. This really feels like robbing the bank considering the circumstances. So thank you to Patrick. What are little brothers for except bailing out their big brother?
That's great.
So
I think the key to the race, other than your little brother bailing you out, was the restart where you were able to get the best of Aho on the inside. Surprising, but sometimes that inside line worked a few times during this race.
I think he snoozed just a fraction, and it was enough to be able to get about a half a car ahead of him going into one, and going down the front stretch. I said over Discord to Patrick and to AJ, I was like, I'm going to send it. And I think that AJ knew I was going to go, pretty aggressive into turn 1. And he probably just felt like it was smarter to get, see the position and try to get it back, on a late race pass or a different restart or something. And unfortunately, I think, he just got stuck on the inside line there because he was clearly, the class of the field again. Whatever he's been doing, he's juicing the tires or whatever's going on. He's really had fantastic speed the first 3 weeks. So I feel a little bad for Jeff because I think he probably deserved a better finish than what he got. But I'm pumped for the win.
Long season. I'll get you out of here on this one. You're a good interview, by the way. I was talking to JR, my partner up here in the booth, after you made the inside line work on the inside, one time I go, well, JR, he's going to do it again, right? Because he did it. And JR said, no, he's going to go to the outside. And you sure enough did that. No thought about trying it on the inside every time because it worked for you once.
Absolutely not. That is that's an aberration, is what you call it.
Got it. Hey, congratulations, champ, on the win. It'll help you in the points. See you down the road.
Thanks, Soup. Appreciate it.
Eric Stout, your winner tonight. And maybe looking now, we're 3 races in, a name to be talked about when you're talking about a repeat champion. JR, who you got?
All right, Soup, I'm up here with Chad O'Cares. He comes home in second place tonight. Chad, I know you started on the pole, finished second, but that doesn't really tell the whole story with how tonight went, and that's going to bring me to my first question. How tough was the restarts here tonight at Thompson?
Super tough. Inside, outside. For the most part, you want to start on the outside. You want to be on that outside. And we go on green, and there was one restart where I just had a brain fog, and Jeff was on my inside. I go to hit green, go, okay, now shift to second, now shift again. We don't have a third gear. And so I burped the throttle and lost that going in the corner. He gets in front of me. Now it also happened with Jeff. Eric got him on the inside. But majority of the time, those restarts were okay. I'm not the biggest fan of restarts. I want long runs, but pretty happy with the second place finish.
Yeah, absolutely. You went through a lot, and I can absolutely understand your pain with the shifting deal. These cars are a little bit different, and that's something the viewers at home may not have known, so I appreciate you bringing that up. Only 2 speeds, only 2 gears in these cars, so yeah, definitely can make a difference. You came into this race, I believe, 18th in points. It's a little deceiving because we've had a drop week, only 2 races before this. But what are your thoughts moving through the rest of the season? You think you're going to be able to work your way up?
I think so. I just, what I've learned from last year is that you don't really need to dominate or try and set hot laps, lap after lap in this league. You just got to survive. And even top 10s are important. Top 5s. And then days like today when I feel like I've got the speed and I've got the qualifying position, yeah, go for that win, right? But on those days where I'm going to be stuck 8th, 10th, 11th, I know it's going to happen. Just be cool with it. Get as much as you can, bring that car home. And what I learned last year was you'll be in the running for the points at the end. So it's a long haul, and I look forward to fighting for that championship with these guys.
That's a smart driver. We talked about that earlier in the race, how important it is just to bring it home sometimes. Before I let you go, who do you want to thank, but also want to hear your thoughts real quick on next week's race at Concord?
Next week at Concord, well, that's a track that's been on this sim, I think, from the very beginning, right? It is a very unique track, and I love the fact that we have those 3 turns. They all act differently. You've got a super fast turn going to turn 1, and then another fast little kink through 2, and then all of a sudden you got to slow that car down to try and get through 3 to then set yourself up for the straightaway. And the key is you want to be as fast as you can through that turn 3 to get that run on the straightaway, because that's the best place to try and pass is in that spot. So yeah, that'll be pretty exciting. I can't wait to see what the setup's going to be like. I want to thank my wife for letting me get away for a couple hours in the evenings, to do this. What am I lying about? She lets me just do this all the time. This is my hobby. This is my thing. And thank my stepson Paxton. He's always pretty confident, pretty positive with me, and just so overall, the guys at Red Light Racing and you guys here up in the booth. I watched a few of your telecasts. I wasn't able to do the first race, but I was able to watch it from where I was, and I do appreciate the show that you guys do put on. And yeah, that's about it. Looking forward to another Thursday night racing with these guys. It's been pretty fun.
Chad, VGN has a policy. You mentioned your wife. You got to give her name. What's the girl's name?
Oh, it's my wife. My wife's name is Julie.
Julie. All right, Julie. Yeah, Julie and Paxton. Nice job.
Julie and Paxton. Yes, coming up on our 10th anniversary in March.
All right.
So
Congratulations.
Hopefully I don't miss a week. I might be out of the points race if we end up going somewhere. But we got to balance. Got to balance the hobby and life.
Well, if you can't give her jewelry, maybe give her a Red Light Racing win would be
That's
nice.
right.
Okay.
Let's go.
Good luck to you, man.
All right, thanks.
All right, let's quickly dial up Andrew Critical Massey here. Started in 20th, goes to 3rd. Andrew, how important is qualifying in these Red Light Racing League races? doesn't seem very important.
Yeah, I thought it was dead after qualifying. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be that big of a deal here.
Boy, at the very end, one of those late restarts, you were on the top side, and it got rolling, and you picked up maybe 2 or 3 spots.
Yeah, just like all race, the seas just kind of parted, and everything went my way. Like I had luck on my side tonight, that's for sure.
Third place, a good result for you. I mean, everyone likes a podium, but is that surprisingly good, or is that something you expect?
Nope, I just feel like I just won the race. I didn't think I would be running anywhere up front. First little bit, anyway.
And you know what? After the interview, then you got a little bit of damage there, but you managed to do okay. So you had a nice run. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Andrew Massey, 20th to 3rd. That's going to do it for our show. If you like what we do here, we do it all the time. And when are we going to do it again? Well, we're going to do this series next Thursday night. It's round 4, and we've talked about a lot. And after the description that I just heard Chad Alcaraz give, I want to come back and see what Concord, 3 corners and ducking in and momentum is, oh man, I want to watch that. But before that, we're going to do a bootleg racing league. That's going to be the Outlaw, the SK Modified, these very cards. We're going to be going to Langley, where we were for this series last week. So everything's all tied together. It's all an endless circle of the circle of life. Why that the lions eat the giraffes? And I don't know where I'm going with this. All those broadcasts in the future and in the back are all production of the Virtual Grip Network. I've enjoyed my time with VG, and hopefully they'll have me back for a few more broadcasts. With that said, I'm going to go in the closet and look for a hat. Nothing here. Have fun storming the castle.